So in this problem, we are simplifying. What that normally means is we're following order of operations, or PEMDAS, whatever you may have called it, until we get our equation in a more streamlined form. So first, we look for parentheses. Inside of my parentheses, I see x minus 1. If I can, I should combine them. However, x and negative 1 are not like terms, so I cannot combine these. I'm done with parentheses. Next, I move on to exponents. I realize there's an exponent of 2 here. What this means is I should write this problem out twice. Squared means that you are multiplying something by itself. So we're not quite done. We actually need to go through and distribute. Real quick, we do have a squared right here. However, x is being squared. There's no way to really simplify that. That is as simplified as it gets. So technically, we are done with our exponents there. Next moves to multiplication. That's what this distribution will be. I see that I have a negative 3 times an x minus 1 times an x minus 1. I'm going to handle the x minus 1s first. We double distribute by doing x times negative 1, negative 1 times x, and negative 1 times negative 1. Each member of this first group gets distributed to each member of the second group. When I do this, I get my negative 3 still outside. But in my parentheses, I get x squared minus 1x minus 1x plus 1. My plus 4x squared is still on the outside. Now I go back. I have successfully multiplied through with my double distribution. I now have a negative 3 that I must double distribute. Distribute. Before that, however, I notice on the inside of my parentheses, I have 2 negative 1x's that can be combined. So just to make my job a little easier, I'm going to combine those two like terms first. Negative 1x plus negative 1x makes negative 2x. And the rest of the problem remains the same. Now we need to distribute the negative 3, and this is multiplication, so that is still part of the step that we're on. Negative 3 times x squared is negative 3x squared. Negative 3 times negative 2x is positive 6x. Negative 3 times positive 1, a negative times a positive is a negative, and 1 times 3 is 3. My plus 4x squared still remains at the end. I've now gone through all of my multiplication. I check if there's any division. I do not see any division, so we are now done with this step. Finally, it comes to adding and subtracting. We can only add and subtract our like terms. So, taking a look in here, I see this is my only x squared term. So this lends me to my final answer of negative 3x squared. It would be my only answer if I didn't have a second x squared over here. My bad. We have a negative 3x squared plus 4x squared. We should combine the coefficients. When we add two things with the like terms, the name, the x squared, stays the same, but we will add the coefficients. 4 plus negative 3, you can think of that as 4 minus 3, we'll get 1x squared. I've now combined these two terms. Therefore, I don't need to worry about them anymore. I now check my remaining terms. I have a 6x and a minus 3. Neither of these can be combined together. My plus 6x remains part of my answer. My minus 3 remains part of my answer. Thus, when all is said and done and everything has been simplified, we have finished going through PEMDAS. And this is my remaining answer.